Good morning and welcome to Around the World in 274 Days. Today we're in Klaipeda, is that right? Lithuania. And we're going to do some walking tours, some bus rides. And as you saw earlier, we had one heck of a welcome as we came off the ship with some Lithuanian musicians. Should be a fun day. Poor Lithuania has been broken up and ruled over by so many different people. That monument celebrates the coming together of what used to be Lithuania. It looks to me though that part of it's still missing. I'll have to find out if there's something that still needs to be added.
The part that's broken off is the part of Lithuania that's still occupied by Russia.
This ship was used for training sailors, particularly during the Soviet era period. Beautiful ship. After World War II, the Soviets took over this area until the Soviet Union fell apart, at which time Lithuania got its independence.
This monument was put up by the Soviet Union. It is to memorialize and honor the hard-working fishermen that toil and work so hard. But then the Soviets turned a building into an apartment building and make 5 families live in each apartment. So even though they say they're for the working man, it sounds like they're really not.
This red brick warehouse, along with this one over here, were all built by the Germans. There was a whole row of them along here, but the Soviet Union, they basically blew this town apart as they invaded, and they would not let the Lithuanians rebuild anything that was destroyed, particularly if it was German. And so they were able to repair these, but the others, they had to build new buildings. As the Soviets said, we don't look back toward German history, we look forward to Soviet domination.
So this old German warehouse, they were able to repair, and they've turned into modern day shops. It's quite nice. Toward the end of World War I, Lithuania declared independence. During World War II, Lithuania was occupied by the Soviet Union and then by the Nazis before being reoccupied by the Soviets in 1944. And like I said, they declared their independence in 1990. That was a year before the Soviet Union fell apart. But part of it's still in the Soviet Union. There's a little folklore that goes with this bronze mouse. Tradition has it that if you stroke its nose and its back and then whisper into its ear what you wish, your wish will come true. Here's Laura wishing for something, probably that this cruise will end.
This building behind me is currently a theatrical school. It survived the war but had to be rebuilt. It was damaged. So the Soviets apparently just all but flattened this city as they came through. One piece of interesting news: in 1939, Hitler had taken over Lithuania, and he came and stood on that balcony to motivate the Lithuanians to stay because they were afraid of the Germans and they were all leaving the country. And so he got up there and gave a great propaganda speech about all the wonderful freedoms in life they're going to have under Nazi rule. So Adolf Hitler himself stood on that balcony and gave a speech.
The city of Klaipeda was fun to walk through. There was always something interesting to see walking by, but we soon moved on to somewhere else.
We're now in Palanga, Lithuania, and we're going to go through this old church and a couple of museums and who knows what else, but it should be fun. This is the Cathedral of the Blessed Virgin here in Palanga. I think that's how you say it, but it's Roman Catholic. Interesting. Be interested to see how it looks inside compared to some of the ones we've seen in Italy, France, and throughout South America.
Laura and I absolutely love this church. Compared to the other cathedrals that we've been seeing around the world, instead of being a dark granite or stone inside and kind of dark and dreary, this was very light and airy. The white walls along with the red trim was very distinctive, and it just had a very cheerful, cheery and peaceful, happy feeling about the whole thing. This quickly became one of our favorite churches that we've gone through. It was not the most ornate, but it was different, and like I say, it was very cheery, and we loved it. Next stop was the Amber Museum, but we had to walk through the main part of town. There were lots of little sculptures scattered around the town and the town square. Some of them kind of interesting, but we enjoyed the little stroll to the museum. This statue comes right out of old Lithuanian literature. It is the statue of a girl and a serpent. The serpent has a crown on its head because he is the king of the serpents, and the serpent and the girl fall in love, and of course it's a forbidden love, and as the story goes, her brothers find out about it and they come up with a plot to kill the serpent, which they did, and so it turned into a tragic love story. This is the Amber Museum. It is on the site of an estate that was owned by an extremely wealthy man. He and his family fled Lithuania just before the start of the World War II. But the grounds have been restored, and inside there is a massive museum all dedicated to the amber that is, I don't know if it's really mined, but it's gathered. It's on the floor of the ocean. They harvest it there. It seems to be all over the place.
This sculpture of Christ behind me is not the original. The original was destroyed in a bombing by the Germans. After the war, they took up collections. Actually, after the Soviets left, the locals took up collections and rebuilt it.
The grounds have been beautifully restored and maintained, and as I was watching and walking along, I found something I needed a long time ago when I had a lot of grass: an automatic mowing machine. It looks like one of those little vacuums that runs around your kitchen and sucks up everything. So we went into the museum, went up the stairs, along with a whole bunch of our favorite friends, and we were supposed to spend an hour in this museum. After spending about 20 minutes looking at amber and the raw form, the polished form, and the parts that they have made into jewelry, Laura and I said, that's more than enough time, and we just told the guide that we would meet them at the bus in an hour and a half. We thoroughly enjoyed our time in Lithuania. If you liked our video, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel Around the World in 274 Days. Thanks for watching.